Smash those bricks holding you back from going for your dreams. Okay. Just wanted to film a separate clip because I know some people don't have the attention span for like really long videos, and I knew my previous clip was super long, and so that clip's done with. Like I said, I just wanted to touch on that about like don't make comments like that. Just don't be rude at all. Because there's still a lot of people out there, and I get that it sucks, but there's still a lot of people out there that do struggle with their weight, and that's all I'm gonna say. Just don't be rude or don't be mean to people like that. Anyways, the reason I couldn't really talk much in the last video is because I have this like 12 to like 1 liter ounce bottle of Starbucks Blonde Espresso, which is unsweetened. And so I don't know if I used a little too much of it today or not. And the reason why it tastes so light, I learned like an airy, if that makes sense. The reason why that espresso tastes so light is when you mix it with milk, it makes it lighter tasting. Because when I'm making my own coffee, the iced coffee at home, and I had that espresso, when I tried it by itself, it was completely black. It was just tasted like black. It literally just was like pure espresso in itself. But when you add the milk to it, that's what makes it taste very, very light and airy. And so I had that with the vanilla latte, so I might have poured a little too much espresso. I couldn't say that right for some reason. I might have had a little too much espresso. Because I have a cup sitting right here. And yes, I was bad with whipped cream, but what's funny is the whipped cream in my fridge that I have right now, despite two of the ingredients that in it, on the can itself, it says total sugars is 0 grams. No, it says less than 1 gram, which is basically 0. And then it says total included sugars is less than 1 gram, which is also 0 grams of sugar. So, but it's actually really, really good. And what I ended up doing was I ended up using a sweetener for it. I added a little bit of sweetener, not a lot, just a little bit. And that's why I literally couldn't talk in the previous clip or talk well. I think that made me a little too energetic, but like I really wanted to touch on that because I was like going through my computer to I was going through pictures on my computer to like delete stuff out to make more room on my computer because I need to go experiment with something with my camera right now. Not right now, but I need to do that in a little bit. Actually, I should do that before it gets dark. I'm being so lazy and it's so bad. It's like I can't be lazy with this thing because I got an amazing opportunity that I can't wait for. And I don't know yet, but I might let you guys know about that later. But yeah. So, that's why I need my camera. I need to practice something. Let's just put that out there. And actually, I should get going because I really have stuff to work on. Oh, shoot. I do. Because I need to... I can't believe Mother's Day is this Sunday. And then also, to be honest, I know there's no such thing as a kid's day, but for anyone without, like, for example, let's say, I know there's probably quite a few people out there like this, of course not a lot, but there's probably a lot of people out there like this that are only living with their dad, for example. I know there's some kids like that, and there's other kids that only live with their mom. So, like, for example, wait, how do I put this in a good way? I don't know how to put this in a good way. Like, basically, I'm gonna try my best. Basically, for example, a child could be living with their dad, let's say their mom's in prison. And then that's where they're living with their dad. Or let's say there's another kid that let's say their dad may have passed away a long time ago and they're living with their mom, but they don't have a parent for either Mother's Day or Father's Day, for example. And so with this, so like, for example, technically for those that are living with their aunts and uncles, since your aunt and uncle are raising you guys, you can have Mother's and Father's Days with them. And there's so many different situations as to why kids live with their aunts and uncles. There's a huge, and same with the grandparents. Like, if the kids are being brought up by their grandparents, there's different reasons for that. And the same thing with grandparents. It's like you can still celebrate Mother's and Father's Day with your grandparents and your aunts and uncles, especially if you're living with both of them together. It's different if you're only living with one of them, but like if you're living with both, then you can still celebrate those days, because they're the ones raising you like a mother and father would. But for those that, for example, let's say their parents or one of their parents may have passed away. For those, what I'm going to say for you guys, for those that may not have, or didn't really grow up with a mother, or like maybe they did grow up with a mother, but she wasn't really there, if that makes sense, I will say Happy Kids Day. I know there's no such thing as this, but the kids, like for the kids that don't have that parent to celebrate these special days with, I'm not trying to get emotional, but it is emotional, but like for kids like that, they should have something special done for them. I understand it's more for, like, I know Mother's Day is more for mothers and stuff, but it can be for aunts and grandmas and things like that. Like, anyone who's raised you. Like, even if it's a babysitter that's raised you, it could be for them too. It's like, it's any person that raised you from a child up until 18 years old or later. But then again, most people, no, actually, let's say up until 16, because most 16-year-olds don't need a babysitter. But like, either way, they raised you as if they were your parent. Like, so like with these type of kids, they should be able to celebrate it in a way that's meaningful to them. Like, no matter what the circumstances, these kids should be able to celebrate Mother's Day, especially if they didn't grow up with one, in a way that is very, very special to them. So it's just like they need to think of something like, try, like, of course, I understand everyone's struggling with finances as well, but if you can afford it, or save up for it, and I understand this takes more planning than anything else, but like, maybe the kid can come up with something that their parent used to do, or that their parent liked, and then maybe the parent that they're growing up with now can mimic what they loved, like, on Mother's Day and stuff. Like, for example, like, there's mothers where the kid would always make her, like, his or her mom breakfast in bed, and so like they would do that. And so like, if they don't have that parent to enjoy that, maybe the parent they're living with now can do the same for their kid, and this way it's like, could make the exact same meal that their parent ate in bed and stuff, the meal that their parent liked, and this way the kid can have that memory of their parent. I hope that makes sense. I really do. Like, for example, let's say I'm just throwing this out there as an example, let's say someone's mom's favorite breakfast was pancakes, hash browns, and McDonald's coffee. Let's just put that out there, just as an example, or just coffee in general. Like, pancakes, hash browns, and coffee. Let's just put that out there. Let's say that was someone's mom's favorite breakfast. And this is just a very random order, a very random thing. Very random breakfast that I came up with. And so it's like, let's say that was their mother's favorite breakfast. If it was, then maybe from now on like every single Mother's Day, that same meal can be made for the child. Because they basically, even though they're still growing up, they're growing up without one parent. Scratch, 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 the bridge on over the bravery.